Twin Cities Adventures here, and in today's video it's pretty much a combination of request videos and what we're up to with spring fever. So we do have an urban gardening playlist, but sometimes people will request a video about indoor gardening. So today I'm going to give you a tour of our indoor garden and how we start our seeds and maintain an herb garden. And I can break this down and show you how to do it really cost efficiently, get a better deal than the big box stores, and it works great. You can have fresh herbs all year round inside. You can bring them outside in the summer and bring them back in the winter, and you can even do that with pond plants because we have our koi pond playlist, and I have a big jug up here where we can bring our little pond plants and fill that with water and keep those alive all winter in here. So let's get started. First up, we have a metal rack or a wire rack. So it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shelves. We really don't use the top shelf other than to store that big glass jug that we'll bring our pond plants in the winter time. So with the wire or metal rack, that's just really durable, easy. I think I picked it up at Home Depot, and that's pretty much self-explanatory. I spaced it out so we could fit 4 levels of growing stations here. And I'll start by showing you what's growing, and then I'll show you how we built it. So first of all, we just have a couple of plants, just because it's fun to look at some plants in your garden. So you can water those, and then any backup water goes into these tins. Now, this is sunflowers. So I ordered some sunflowers on the internet one year, and they're bright purple and magenta colored, so we're gonna grow those today. We'll do a follow-up video later on. We'll probably create a new playlist so you can see how those turn out. Here's a plastic dome for that, and I had that on there before, but now that they're germinating, we took that off. I'll show you a clip of the humidity that was in there before I took it off right now. Okay, so these are starting to germinate and grow, and you can see the humidity that is trapped in there. So first thing you can do is just tilt that at like an angle, and that will be like partial coverage, or you can just take that off, lay that against the wall, and just keep it like this, and just make sure that these are watered properly every day. So now that they're germinating and they're growing, they're popping the sunflower seeds off of the green as they grow and get bigger and spread out. See, there's one that spread out right there. So really quick, here's 3 Tupperware containers. Put paper towel in there and get your seeds out. Wet the paper towels down with just normal water. Put the seeds on top, put more paper towel on top, wet that down, put the lid on, close it up, and put it maybe in a window somewhere that's not too cold for about a week, and then they'll sprout just like this. All right, here is 1 week later. They're all sprouting. Next, we're going to plant them in our little grow tray. This comes with these little pucks of dehydrated grow soil. We're going to add 1.5 inches of water. A couple minutes later, they'll expand, and then we'll take a chopstick, poke a hole in each one, and then we'll plant our sunflowers in each hole. Now that's filled, we'll put the lid on it and put that under the grow station. After those get about so big and it's appropriate weather outside, we'll transplant those outside. And that is rack number 1. Rack number 2, we have our indoor herb garden. So this is great because we bought these pots that have a hole in the bottom so they do drain. And these fit perfectly into our window boxes, so we can bring those outside and put them in the window boxes in the summertime if we want to, or we can keep them inside all year round. And then in the fall, you can bring them in and put them under your grow station and have fresh herbs all year round. And then on the 3rd rack, you can see the humidity built up on there. Samuel just built some saran wrap wrapped around these wooden dolls to keep the humidity in because we were waiting for these ones to germinate. This one, he's starting butternut squash, pumpkins, cantaloupe, and watermelons. So as soon as those germinate, we'll do a follow-up video, and then we'll peel these saran wrap tops back after that. And then on the bottom, I have more herbs growing under here. And then let's go over how we built the rack next. So I'll take this herb garden off, and then I'll strip this all down to the bottom and show you the lights. Then I'll show you the rubber mat, then the heating pad, and then the tub last, and we'll put those back together layer by layer. Okay, here's what the bottom of the rack looks like. It's basically a metal rack, nice and durable. And then we have zip tied on here 2 sets of grow lights. We have those hanging down. These are LEDs so they don't get warm too much, but there's a little bit of warmth, and because of that, we zip tied those so they hang down just a bit. Here's a peek underneath at our grow lights. Now these are white, blue, and red spectrum, and these are $25 a piece on Amazon. And yes, I'll add a link to the things that we put on here at the bottom of the video. So these grow lights would have been about $70 a piece at Home Depot, but I didn't want to pay that much. So you go to Amazon and they're $25 a piece. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8. So that's $200 in lights alone, which is pretty cheap compared to the big box stores. So that's our first layer, is the metal rack with the growing lights underneath it. Now this here is just a rug. It's like very durable rubber underneath it, and then just the fabricy side. I just cut this old miscellaneous rug we had laying around into little strips, and then we zip tied that on here. That way, when you walk into the room, you see this, and you're not blinded by this. So we did that all along, and you can see how bright that is without that little rug thing on there. So that's level 1. All right, here's level 2. So this is just a floor runner. It's a vinyl floor runner or rug that I bought in a roll. It was super cheap. It was about $10 at Home Depot. So I just measured that up, cut it this way, cut it that way, notched out around the little posts here. And this is good for any dripping. It's like a drip pad. You can see there's rows in here. So for any reason, any water gets on here, it will not go down into the light fixtures. And this way you have a nice clean mat on there. So that's level 2. Now level 3 are these heating pads. Now these heating pads are used to germinate seeds, and it keeps it just slightly warm to the touch. These are 10 by 20.75, and these are $10 a piece on Amazon. They're a lot more expensive in the big box stores, but I'll add a link to that below the video also. So 10 bucks a piece, so we have $40 in heating pads. Once your seeds germinate, you want to unplug those. So what I did here is I labeled these levels 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then over here, like here's level 1, and I just unplugged that because the top one's already germinated. Here's how we have that plugged in. So the herb garden is here, level 2. So we just simply unplug that and drop it down. And it's good to label that so you always know which one it is, so it coincides with where it's labeled right there. Okay, and then here is a timer for the lights. So you can put those on for 14 to 16 hours or whatever your planting requirements are. Here's the master kill switch here. We also have a kill switch right there because these are hooked in unison. You know, they just plug into each other. So if I turn this one on, they're all on, but the second level is here. So if I shut this one off, it kills everything below it. See, those lights are off, off, off. So if you're only planting or maintaining something on the top level, just hit that switch. Otherwise, if you're doing 2 levels, you can hit the switch down here in the 3rd one, and that kills the 2 below it. And that goes so on and so forth all the way down. And here's level 4, which is these tubs that I bought at Home Depot. These are over by like the cement concrete area. It's for mixing cement in or whatever home improvement. Usually people ask what things are measuring. This is 19 inches deep and 27 inches wide. And then the height is about 5.5 inches. So these are great because when you water things, they can drip into there, and they fit on this shelf perfectly. So my rack is about 35 inches wide and 16 inches deep. And then I have these set up so they're 17 inches tall from the base all the way up to the top there. And then if you move that just a couple inches off the wall, you can put those dead center right in the middle. Otherwise, if your rack is all the way to the back of the wall, they'll just stick out a little bit. So the next thing you'll need is a multi-strip, a timer, and I have some cord protectors here. So that is our awesome indoor garden station there. And I'll add one more thing to the link below the video, which is a must-have, which is this water spray jug. So this is 1.5 gallons, I believe. And it's basically a water jug you fill up and then you pump it up and down and it builds pressure. There's a shoulder strap if you need it. We don't need it for this because this fits perfectly. It has a long spout handle. So all you do is you have it sit there, you pull the trigger, and you can spray all of your things just like this, super easy. That way you don't have to have a hose anywhere near where you're at. You just grab this and you look at everything, and then you can spray everything just like this. This little spray bottle thing is awesome. Even our indoor plants, just give that a little shot of water there. And we do have a vitamin in our water jug that came with some of our supplies. It's just like a fertilizer. You put a little packet in there, so that way it gives them everything they need. All right, so there's our indoor grow station. I hope that you like it, and if you want to build it, like I said, I'll put links below the video where you can find the heat pads, the water sprayer, and the lights. I'll start a playlist for this so you can keep watching how we put things under here. It'll probably be neat to watch the pond plant up. That we'll put pond plants in there for next winter so you can see how those work out. So stay tuned for the next video. Twin Cities Adventures out.